Oh, oh boy. Oh, man. Oh boy. Oh wow. Whew. Whew. Man. If I'm not mistaken, that was SmackDown tonight we watched, guys, right? That was SmackDown. SmackDown Live, right? The show that actually, decently tells stories for the most part. Well, the beginning of the show, yes, did. Middle of the show was awesome as well, but it's like I feel like for the most part, I almost ate a rotten sandwich or something like that. It's like the bread on top. Well, the bread on the. I'm sorry. Take a plate, for instance. The bread on the bottom was good. Of course, the bread we put on top was good also. Though it was not still there. But we put like what garbage in the middle of that sandwich or something? Because let me tell you guys something. I actually was not that impressed with SmackDown tonight, except for the opening and closing segments. But what a day it's been, guys. Let's get right into it. What's going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for my live review of SmackDown Live from the January 29th, 2019 edition of SmackDown Live that took place, as always, from the past 4 days, Phoenix, Arizona. The Fallout show from the Royal Rumble. And we're now 68 days away from WrestleMania 35 again. 68 days, so I'm going to be sitting in my seat at MetLife Stadium in section 126 and witnessing WWE, hopefully knocking my socks off. Because let me tell you something, guys. After the night we've had tonight, well, this past couple of days, just everything going on, especially these last several weeks, I've just been kind of just like, especially tonight, I'm just like, what in the world is going on? First off, if you haven't caught it yet, I left my thoughts, of course, before and down in my dark basement. But this man right here on my T-shirt, well, the symbol, of course, on my T-shirt, Dean Ambrose, of course, today, as we all know, it was made clear by WWE that Dean Ambrose again is leaving apparently after his contract expires in April. There have been reports that he'll leave after WrestleMania, but I've also read reports that he may be written off of television even sooner than that. But I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, if the rumors are true that he is not happy or whatnot, again, I don't blame him again from, the bad booking he's definitely had, for quite a while now for sure. It's just that character that to me was always like, yes, it was entertaining, but then they needed to dig a lot deeper. And he's tired of the hooky stuff, as he said, he was revealed in an interview earlier today. But I kind of already did talk about that in that video. I'm not going to talk about much anymore. So yeah, if Dean Ambrose is if this is true, well, it must be true. WWE, although WWE.com, like thinking about it more after I uploaded the video, going out of their way, had me scratching my head a little bit and starting to wonder. Here's the thing: I'm more towards Dean Ambrose leaving. I'm more believing that, but slightest bit of me is starting to wonder if Dean Ambrose this may be a work also. I don't know, just the fact that WWE, like when Wade Barrett said he was not going to be renewed his contract in April or June or whatnot, or even when Brie Bella did before Daniel Bryan, right around the time Daniel Bryan retired, said online that she wasn't going to be wrestling anymore or whatnot, or like no one has had WWE.com reveal that in advance that a wrestler is leaving after in a few months, unless it's like some big retirement. This isn't a retirement. Ambrose is looking to move on. So, I mean, I'll say I'm 95% sure this is true. But that slight 5% makes me wonder if this is a work. Because if it was revealed over the weekend, why would they wait till the night after Raw to tell us? When Dean Ambrose was supposed to make some type of announcement, then he got cut off by Nia Jax. But I just wanted to just throw that real quick there. So just again, if you guys want to hear my full thoughts on Dean Ambrose leaving WWE in April, again, just check out the video for that. But guys, this is my live review of SmackDown Live again. As I compared this show to before, think of my hand as a plate. There's a slice of bread right here that's fresh and delicious. There's another slice of bread on this hand going on top of the bread. But in between that was a whole bunch of garbage. So let me tell you guys something. I was not that impressed. I don't know if the big announcements on Raw kind of like blew SmackDown away this week or what, but man, there was just a ton of things in this show that didn't make any sense. Two things in particular that I'm gonna go. Actually, one segment, well, series of segments, matches in general, I'm going to go off on, and also two things about a women's segment I'm actually going to go on because it just completely just makes absolutely no sense. Road Dogg had to have touched this show some way. Road Dogg's paws had to have touched this show in some ways because this was not a Ryan. Well, I'm sorry. The beginning and end was Ryan Ward. He must have been like, started it, then Road Dogg took it from him. Then he's like, and Ryan Ward's like, oh, I found these papers. Like, oh, ending segment needs finished off because that ending segment for the most part I thought was actually pretty good, and the opening segment was excellent. But then the rest of the show, like, the Four Corners match, I gotta say, was all right. And the stuff with Almas and Mysterio was okay as well, but I wasn't a big fan of this show. It was just weird. It just wasn't too consistent and wasn't really that great. One of the weakest episodes of SmackDown I've definitely seen in a while, so to say. But let's check the live chat first, guys, and see what is going on. Let's see this. We've got what's up, Elite Squad, saying SmackDown Live was okay. Truth's champion victory was unexpected. I'm not upset with Truth winning the championship. I'm completely fine actually with Truth getting a run with the US title, but it's the stuff around it I'm upset about. But thanks for joining me in the live chat. We'll get to that. The opening was okay. The closing was brilliant. He thought, what's going on, Mark? How you doing? I hope the man is okay. So do I, but I'm pretty sure again that knee injury is kayfabe. I really don't think it's real. I think it's kayfabe in my opinion. Oh yeah, we will talk about that, Mark. Brian is defending the championship inside Chamber against Ali, Joe, AJ, Jeff, Randy. But if he wins, who will he face at Mania? We'll get to that later on. Is just me, or are they playing a hot potato with the U.S. title? Oh, it's not. That's for sure. Elite Squad thinks Ambrose's departure could be a work. Which I mean, again, I have the slightest feeling it could be a work, but I don't want to get my hopes up. I mean, I know like you're already giving it this big buzz already. I just don't. The always when I say I feel it's a work because I find it weird for two things. One, if it was made official over the weekend, why was it revealed the Raw afterwards? He was cut off in a segment. Like I didn't mention any of this in my little video about Ambrose leaving and why I wouldn't blame him for leaving. But then I thought about it afterwards. It's like what if this was a work or something like that? I'm not sure. But with WWE revealing it ahead of time and whatnot, I'm just like, okay, something might be up here. I'm not too sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Because he was sitting on that chair again, waiting to say something before Nia Jax come up. But once again, as I said, I'll say this one thing about Ambrose. If he really is leaving, WWE, don't write him off as a joke. Like don't make him a joke to be written off of. Like don't Wade Barrett him basically, if you know what I mean. Like Ambrose has been a workhorse. Despite the fact if it's true that he has been unhappy with his character, then don't write him off. I in a bad way. At least have someone get in their compass, but don't make him look like don't have him fight Nia Jax at WrestleMania, and that's how he gets written off and looking like a fool. No. Again, the guy, even though he was injured for 9 months, was a workhorse for how many years he was on the main roster. Like, don't punish him that way. The guy definitely deserves a respect for sure that he does for him going off somewhere else, if that is the case. As to me, it seems to be, but it could be a work. Who knows? But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, and the thing is Renee Young going with him? That's the thing. Also, what's happening with Renee Young? Like. You think it would be a little strange if Renee Young stayed, unless if Ambrose really is fine with that? I'm not sure, but that's the part also I'm just kind of wondering about too. Ambrose is way too good to leave. He is one of the biggest WWE stars. Oh, for sure, I agree. But again, like WWE has not really, again, in my opinion, again, I love Ambrose, but obviously there's just a lot more they can dig in with him, and WWE has not exposed that. Again, like I said in my little video I made, WWE still has had a comedy side for Ambrose with this heel character, where it doesn't need to be that. Like Ambrose as a babyface can have comedy. As a heel, he's not supposed to be funny because he's not supposed to try to make us laugh. He can't. They can't take that babyface character he had and make it into a heel character. No, he has to bring out the Jon Moxley of him. But again, I'm not sure again what's going on with that, so we'll see what happens later on. We're going to have new tag team champions at Elimination Chamber, probably. Oh yeah, for sure. All that stuff that Ambrose has accomplished for sure. Definitely, he deserved it all. It was kind of cool when Truth became champ, but the problem is that his matches were bad as well as very quick, for sure. Mark thinks the championship looks ugly. WWE is probably building this Ambrose portrait to a feud with him and Triple H at WrestleMania 35. Again, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him wrestle Triple H at WrestleMania 35. I mean, again, they put on a really good match at that Roadblock event before WrestleMania 2016. I love that match, so I'd be willing to give it a try if Triple H is cleared to wrestle by that time, of course. But again, if anything, since he's not going to wrestle in Rollins for sure, Mania, I like to see Ambrose either wrestle Balor or Black at WrestleMania. Which I think that would be a good again. If he's departing, cool. Again, this is the only two things I would be disappointed from seeing Ambrose not being able to do in WWE again is wrestle Rollins in the 3 Stages of Hell match and feud with Roman Reigns when he comes back. It's the only two things that I definitely want to see out of him. But we'll see what happens. But I'll of course get into the SmackDown review. But thank you guys for your comments in the live chat. And wow, I actually am not prepared. I didn't pull up my notes. Let's pull this up really quick here. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so here we go. We start off. We start off this show with no one else other than the man herself, Becky Lynch. As I keep saying once again, and I think if I ever do meet Becky Lynch, I don't know if I should say this or, but I will say, hey, Becky, you are the man of WWE for sure. But I am still the man of YouTube. I am the man of YouTube. Duh. But Becky Lynch comes out, and she's still hobbling on that bad knee, and she goes, of course, a big pop. She says a lot has happened over the last few days. She couldn't resist heading to Raw to look Ronnie in her angry little eyes, which again, I love that Becky is the only person who calls Ronda Ronnie. Like that is like that I love as well. It only took her 2 seconds to see how difficult they are because unlike Ronnie, she doesn't crumble when she loses. So she went out after losing her title match and won the Royal Rumble on just one good leg, which honestly, again, is true. Ronda Rousey in UFC, even Stephanie mentioned it, when Ronda first came to WWE, that Ronda Rousey, has a history of not really accepting, dealing with losses too well, which again is kind of somewhat true. Again, if the rumors are also true that Ronda Rousey is taking a break from WWE or whatnot after WrestleMania 35, that could kind of play into effect because if we do the 4 horsewoman match again, I feel that Rousey, Baszler, Duke, and Shafir, which 3 of the 4 of them are already heels, I feel that they're all going to be heel going into that match, like that match basically. I mean, although again, you gotta be careful when I make Ronda look like a crybaby or a loser, but which can be the case. So that's why I feel like that line right there really stopped me. I'm like, yes, because Ronda is most likely again losing at WrestleMania 35. Like I think that's happening, and of course the person who needs to beat her, of course, is Becky Lynch. Right now it's just Ronda and Becky, but I'll get in a second of why I think that could change, of course. She mentioned how Ronda, if Ronda would have lost like she did last night, she would I lost my train of thought. Crap. Ronda Rousey would have lost like she did last night. She would have just gave up and just walked away. But unlike her, she got on one leg and went to the Royal Rumble match. Ronda wants to talk about her working her way up. It's like something to be ashamed of, but she's proud of the work she had to put in to get here. And of course, so are we for sure. And that's why we were able to get behind her. That's why we wanted to cheer for her and not boo her when she turned on Charlotte back at SummerSlam. And luckily, this thing right now, I'm just like, it's exactly what it needed to be all along, WWE, because you got this right tonight, but not a lot else right. But she's most proud of working her way from the pre-show to the main card this year and be in the main event with nothing handed to her. The main thing she saw in Ronnie's eyes last night was something she doesn't have any anymore is doubt. She's going to break her arm WrestleMania, and if Rousey doesn't walk in knowing that, she's going to walk out feeling it. And we all guess what's going to happen, but then out comes Charlotte. She just then starts mocking, clapping Becky for making it off of the kickoff show and says she must be ecstatic. She was being all sarcastic, yay, you did it, Becky. You're awesome. I'm so proud of you. I love it, but on Sunday, she wasn't even in the Rumble, but she willed her way in and won. So maybe she learned something from Flair. She grew to be the man because of the lessons she learned from the Queen. It was her that brought Becky Lynch to the main event, and she's happy that she could do all this for her. She then starts to laugh, and she tells Becky she's welcome or whatnot. She puts her hand out to shake it, but then Becky grabbed, and I heard her, she can grab her or not, but Becky looks like she's going to shake her hand, and Becky just decks her with just a single badass punch to the jaw, and I popped up like, damn, she just took one right to the face. And she goes to leave. The music is playing. Charlotte gets up, and then she goes after Becky, blindsiding her and beat her down the ramp. Becky, though, despite having a bad knee, fires back, and these two literally are just brawling into each other. Flair threw her into the barricade, and then, of course, a lot of, agents and referees were out there trying to break it up, but they had a hard time separating each other, and these two are going at it. So obviously, either at Chamber or Fastlane, these two are probably going to have a match where if Charlotte wins, because she's going to keep, say how, Becky should not been in that Rumble match. And at this point, here's the thing. If this happens with, Charlotte's going to get a match against Becky, and Becky's going to lose just to get added to this triple threat match at WrestleMania, because Charlotte always gets opportunities. Which, once again, I'm not going to hate on Charlotte because I do think Charlotte deserves to be in the main event too. But Becky and Ronda is the hottest thing going right now. Here's the thing. I'm going to take a full page out of Punk's book here. If they literally have Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte and a triple threat WrestleMania, make it elimination style, or I'll say Punk's way Punk would say it. Hey, let's do a three-way here. Make it elimination style. I'll have someone pin Charlotte in freaking 5 minutes. That way she can say she's in the main event of WrestleMania, which, could. Becky can overcome that one last obstacle, of Charlotte, one last time for just, being like a thorn in her side, trying to, overpower her and take advantage of the fact that, yes, it is true now, revealing that Charlotte does get handed a lot of opportunities over other people, and Becky gets handed absolutely nothing. So have Charlotte get out and have it come down to Ronda and Becky for a good long portion. If they go with that, of course, I'm still saying Ronda and Becky has to happen because that's the showdown people want to see. They don't want to see, a third person involved in there just hanging out, whatnot. No. It needs to be just Ronda and Becky. Only those two. But the beatdown, I thought, was great, though, for sure. And to me, it's this is what it needed to be all along. Becky Lynch overcoming Charlotte, proving that she is the more superior one. And the fact that, everything she's been tired of Charlotte gaining all these opportunities without even really doing much to earn them, and Becky's had to work from the bottom way up to the top. Again, that's how you build a baby face, and that's how you build a hero. And Becky, of course, has now finally realized that, and they've gone back with having Becky being a baby face and not a heel. And I am so glad that they finally backed off on her being a heel, because now she's rolling, and she is the hottest. Again, this is literally Daniel Bryan from 2014. Becky Lynch in 2019 is Daniel Bryan from 2014, except I think even hotter. Even hotter. Well, yeah, she's better. She's, of course, good looking, but you know what I mean. So Becky Lynch, though, despite being on one leg, still gets in this big brawl with Charlotte and walks out on her own 2 feet. Of course, we did see her again later on in a backstage segment, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We then see Shinsuke Nakamura backstage admiring his U.S. championship. And then we get this. Again, it's not because who's now the champion. It's because of what happened around this that made absolutely no freaking sense. So R-Truth comes out. And him and, Carmel do their usual introduction, which is pretty much fun, like I say. On Sunday, he got jacked by Nia Jax at the Royal Rumble, and he didn't get to enter his spot at number 30. Carmella says they fought hard to earn those spots in the Mixed Match Challenge, and Truth says he doesn't know how it happened. One minute he was rapping, and the next moment he was napping. And if she hadn't attacked him, he would have won the match, which McMahon's no, which I'm like, okay, Truth, he probably would have won the match. But because that happened, they're giving him a U.S. title match tonight against Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm like, okay, that fair game for me there. And then the match was not that long. And then R-Truth wins with a small package that looked like Nakamura kicked out in time, but the bell rang into the shocker. R-Truth is in a few minutes is United States champion. I'm like, wow. Okay. I mean, if it would have stopped there, yes, it was like a botched finish. I don't know what the heck it was supposed to happen or anything, but I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine with me. I guess we'll see, where this goes or what. It's something different. I mean, again, Truth, I will admit, has been a little more entertaining, since coming back over to SmackDown last year's Superstar Shakeup. So I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. But then Nakamura was arguing with Mike Chioda, which obviously the replay shows that might have been wrong, but who knows? But then here's where things I'm like, oh no. They did it on Raw last night. Now they did it on SmackDown. Rusev and Lana come out. Lana was still in a boot from her injury last night, and Rusev says this isn't right. He took the title from Nakamura because the title deserves better. And if it deserves better than Shinsuke, it for sure deserves better than R-Truth. So he's not too tired. If he's not too tired, Rusev wants to fight for it right now. They start to bicker at each other, and Carmella shoves Lana, and then Rusev gets in Truth's face some more. So at first I'm like, it's kind of teasing a heel turn, but I don't think it's all out. At first. We have the match, and then just like that, R-Truth pins Rusev with a folding press to retain the U.S. title. And I'm just like, so you give Rusev the U.S. Championship for like 3 weeks, or a month, then you have Nakamura take it back off of him. Now you have R-Truth take, which is okay, but then you have him defended twice against Nakamura and Rusev, which also, I'm sorry, once again, heckling on McMahon's here again. Did they say you have to earn title matches, not just get in more automatic rematch clauses? I thought that was the case, but apparently Rusev could get another U.S. title match. But then after that, Nakamura comes out to attack Truth, and I thought, okay, maybe it's going to set up like a triple threat match or something like that. No, it's not, because what happens is Truth threw in. Nakamura put Truth in with Rusev. Rusev and Nakamura were just like staring each other down. And then Rusev starts to attack Truth. And he ends up teaming up with Nakamura. You're turning Rusev back into a heel again? You just turned him. You went back and forth how many times? 1 week in 2018 he was a face. Then he was a heel. 1 week he was a face. Then he was a heel. The freaking Rusev Day gimmick was over as hell. And then you didn't even try when you finally made him a babyface, like for real, after you broke up Rusev Day, which they should have had a run with the SmackDown tag titles. That's a fact, my friends. They should have had a run with the SmackDown tag titles. Just to barely even try with him at all. Get this. It's not just the fact they turned him heel, which still pisses me off, but why would you team these two up when they've been fighting for the past month? Over what? Rusev being a total diva. It makes no sense. Why are these two teaming up now? It makes absolutely no freaking sense. The turn him heel also, why? Just as well, call up Dean Ambrose and tell him, hey, you know of any other places in AEW that are available for me? Go to AEW. Rusev, you're someone else that needs to go to AEW. You would be treated so much better there. And also, as I was made aware, AEW doesn't have writers. These people are on their own, doing their own stick. whenever AEW is finally going to start coming around. I mean, I think they have another rally this week, but seriously, with Ambrose leaving, the Revival hopefully getting out maybe next year if they don't, when their contracts expire next year. Seriously, I'm more excited and checking out AEW when it finally comes out. I'm serious. Like first, I'm like maybe I'll look at it, but now I'm like, okay, AEW, I'm ready. I want to see Ambrose. I want to see the Revival. I want to see Jericho. I want to see Cody Rhodes. I want to see Neville. I want to see Kenny Omega for crying out loud. Even though I don't watch much New Japan, I want to see Kenny Omega. Like AEW is grabbing my attention a little bit more right now, WWE. And you know what? It shows that when Roman Reigns got sick with leukemia, you did not learn your lessons because you're still booking guys like Rusev and Elias, putting them back to where you feel they should have been. Just being sabotaging the fact that the audience loved these guys, and even when they were baby faces, you didn't even try. Again, it's not that Truth won the title. Again, I am fine with Truth getting run with the U.S. title. Again, I think he deserves it. If it was like last year before, I'd be pissed off about this. But I'm more pissed off at how you're rarely teaming up Rusev and Nakamura for what? For what? Makes no sense. But I'll talk about the more, of course, again in my turn alert that I do later on tonight for Rusev and Lana. So that was stupid. We get a recap of the opening segment again, and then Becky Lynch is shown limping her way out when she's asked, how's she doing? She says she's fine. She's not going to spend any more time on the shelf, which is why she turned down medical help, apparently. So she got into her car and apparently didn't put on her seatbelt. So Becky put your seatbelt on, Missy, and drove away. So then we got this segment. This was all right. I should give this a little more credit, but we have first we have R-Truth being checked by the medical staff also, but he's refusing also because he's champion. Of course, Carmella's staying by his side for this. Then we see Rusev in the ring, waiting to have a match with Samoa Joe to get his comeuppance from what happened last week. Zelina Vega comes out and says she knows he was responsible for having her barred from ringside last week and asks if she's that distracting that he can't even focus on Andrade Cien Almas. So then Andrade comes out of nowhere and attacks Ray. He draws up Ray, and he's about to disrespect Ray because if he thought the three amigos on Ray, disrespecting Eddie Guerrero. But then Mysterio floats over the third, and counter goes to a 619. But then Almas countered with the back elbow, and then he hit Ray with the hammerlock DDT. So obviously, this feud with Andrade and Mysterio is still going on. Again, at this point, they're probably going to have a match at Elimination Chamber. But in my opinion, again, save this till WrestleMania, which would be awesome. But now, who the heck knows what's going on with that freaking U.S. title? Who the heck? Again, who knows? Maybe Andrade will dethrone Truth or something like that. And I don't know. I have no clue what's going on with the United States Championship, but we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, so that was all right. Then we see Rusev backstage when Gallows and Anderson roll up to ask him what was that all about. He says he lost, but Anderson gives him a Nakamura crap for attacking him for attacking Truth after they beat both of them, to which Rusev says they should go back to catering. And Carl says he and Shinsuke deserve each other, and they wouldn't fare as well if they got in the ring with them. So Nakamura comes out of nowhere and says challenge accepted. And then Rusev was like, I'm going to give you this one chance to team up or something like that. But you know what's going to happen. They're going to keep them together because why would they just turn him heel just to do this? Like what beef do they have with each other now? The U.S. title is on R-Truth now. They both got beat by Truth. I don't know. This was stupid. And then this segment was all right. I don't know. This was weird. We have Shane McMahon and The Miz. Again, I'm still not for this feud. The tag team champions come in and they get a nice pop in Phoenix. Shane says they don't need confetti or streamers because what he has planned is bigger than this. And on Sunday, Miz helped him achieve a childhood dream. They started playing this video package of the rise till then win the championships. And Shane admitted he had he was resistant at first, but that's why he's been building something special. The one motivational force that's a consistent in his life that makes Mike Mizanin do what Miz does is is his dad, George Mizanin, who apparently the storyline is that how the Miz, Quincy's never able to make his dad proud, which I don't know. With him being around how many years, like once again, how could you not say that you've made your dad you never made your dad proud or something like that? I don't know. Again, that was a little strange, dude. I thought that was strange. So out comes George, and he tells the Miz that he loves him and he's proud of him. And they hug, and Shane shovels around them, which I thought, don't tell me they're going to turn Shane heel here now and have him be the heel and Miz be the face, which I'm not for at all. Again, this whole feud in general, I'm not that behind, but for that, I'm just like, come on. I mean, I'm sure they can put on another good tag match with who they're going to be facing Elimination Chamber, but at the same time, I'm just like, come on, really, guys? Like this, like again, Miz has been in WWE for like what? How long? Like over 10 years now. Like, has there ever been really established that you really think that Miz's dad and his dad don't get along? He's not proud of him, unless I don't know what's going on with them in real life. But I'm like, oh come on, this is just weird and whatnot. So I don't know what this is supposed to accomplish. But then Shane announces that they have business to attend to. They need to figure out who their next title event is going to be. So he booked a four-corner elimination match. And the winner will face them in Elimination Chamber. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. It's the Bar who's going to retain their tag title shot. The New Day, the Bar, the New Day, the Usos, and Heavy Machinery. So I'm like, okay, give Heavy Machinery a go with some, the bigger names, because the only team they face so far on the main roster is the Ascension on Raw. And I'll give it the fact that the benefit of the doubt that I thought this was not a bad tag match at all between Heavy Machinery and all the whatnot. I really think they gave Heavy Machinery, they didn't over push them in this match, but they gave them their moments of shine. New Day versus Eliminate. I kind of like how they come down between the Bar and the Usos. Because think about it, the Usos, a win over the Bar last month would have given them another tag title shot, and because of the Mandy Rose distraction, which I forgot about that segment. I get that still, so I need to check a live chat again in a second. But because of that, it felt like kind of the Usos got their comeuppance on the Bar to get that tag title shot. So they're going to be getting a tag title shot against Miz and Shane at Elimination Chambers, which I'm fine with that. We'll see what that goes, because again, I just don't care about this whole Shane and Miz storyline. So I just still do not. I'm sorry. I just thought that some of his dad was off, but who knows? But again, that wasn't bad. So we need to go back to another segment. Before we do that, I gotta check the live chat again and see what we got here. Elite Squad's WrestleMania 35 predictions are Seth and Brock, Becky and Ronda, Charlotte and Asuka, Miz with Shane versus Bryan with Rowan. Again, I don't know. Again, I'm still not a fan of babyface Miz versus heel Bryan. It goes the opposite way around. Yes, but I'm still not a fan of that. But that's what you think. Cool, man. Dean versus Triple H. Braun and Undertaker, maybe. Lashley versus Balor. Bayley and Banks versus the Riot Squad, and more. It won't be too bad. And Orton will probably face AJ at WrestleMania 35, with them being in the chamber match, they could start teasing it maybe. And honestly, that match should happen at WrestleMania. I want to see it. Again, if AJ's not facing Orton, bring Shawn Michaels out retirement. That's too much to ask for. But again, I'm pushing for it a little more now, because Shawn Michaels can't retire, just wrestle one match at freaking Crown Jewel just still pisses me off to no end today. But not bad picks at all, Elite Squad. And Mark asks, who do you see win the WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber? Which I'll get to that at the ending segment of this review. Thank you guys, as always, for your stuff in the live chat. Moving on now. We got to talk about this segment really quick. This is another reason why I hated this show. And honestly, think about it, I might give this grade. This is a little bit higher for grade, because I feel like this show is not as bad as I thought. But this was bad. This was bad, and it took all the interest away I had for this view, because this makes absolutely no sense. So first off, it's Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville backstage, and they announced that they are entering the Elimination Chamber match for the women's tag titles. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yes, last night on Raw, I was ranting about how, they're having qualifying matches to to announce who is all entering the chamber matches, even though they're just so obvious, and it's more so because it's just showing that this women's tag team division is so weak. Well, the women's division does not have any depth at all, or no established tags. It just literally teams pair up against each other. Like literally, they'll probably have Sasha and Bill in a tag titles, and then following like Dana Brooke and Alicia Fox will team up for a match. Next week will be Nia Jackson, Alexa Bliss teaming up to have a match with them. Like it's this point that there's not really that many established tag teams. So why have you have the qualifying matches when there's had the ones that actually are teams be put in there? So they're having qualifying matches on Raw, but on SmackDown they're not having qualifying matches. Once again, makes no sense. It's either one or the other, guys. Be consistent, because they're both fighting for the same thing at Chamber. Drives me freaking nuts. Then we have this was really took me out of this. Again, I've been appreciating this Mandy Rose and Naomi feud for what it has. It's actually given Mandy something to do, but then this took me completely out of it. Mandy Rose has her own announcement to make and says it's not easy being her, and people are always trying to knock her down like Naomi. So she has some footage to explain why she's got a problem with Naomi. And it's footage from back in 2015 at Tough Enough. Now, keep in mind, this is when Naomi was a heel, and she was a part of Team Bad. And it was her, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. And Team Bad was running her down and just really trashing on her and whatnot. Which, okay, sometimes, if you want to take footage from someone from when the roles were reversed years ago, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Well, this did not work because of what Mandy claims happened afterwards, because it does not fit her. Sonya says that Mandy hasn't been the same since that day. And you didn't hear what Naomi said when the cameras were off, which she's not going to repeat. She made Mandy, who doesn't cry, cry. And then Mandy starts to cry a little bit. And then she said she developed a complex so bad that her boyfriend left her. Naomi ruined her relationship, so she went after hers. Mandy says it'll never end, but for right now, her mind is on the Chamber. So whoa, hold on here. Let me get this straight. Mandy Rose is supposed to be coming across as this girl, this really hot blonde, which, again, no denying how hot Mandy Rose is for sure. Someone who feels that she is easy to get is losing a boyfriend because of, she's not tough enough or whatnot. I what the hell? If anything, again, that's what I said before, sometimes, trying to take footage from when the roles are reversed from years ago sometimes can work, but sometimes it can't. You're trying to make Mandy Rose someone who's come across as some sex appealing object who's very attractive and easy to get, all of a sudden making her look dumb and just looking weak now because her boyfriend does it because she's not tough enough. If anything, the boyfriend is crap, and this makes Naomi, to me, look like the heel. You pretty much have made Mandy Rose look weak. Now why do we want to see Naomi get her comeuppance on her now? I mean, it was the hotel segment again was weird because of the fact that I don't know, why would Jimmy even go there in the first place without trying to pull a trick, or just bringing Naomi there and finding a wet fart at the end, even though the brawl was nice. We got to see Mandy Rose brawl in a black robe and black lingerie and whatnot. But once again, what's the point of this now if we're trying to get sympathy now on Mandy Rose? When Mandy's supposed to be getting the one up on Naomi, but eventually we want to see Naomi get her comeuppance on Mandy Rose, but now she has a person who a heel is supposed to be she can get all she can get. She can get these guys easily because she's hot. But now all of a sudden, Naomi apparently ruined her relationship because she's not tough enough. Come on. That's one. The boyfriend was crappy. And then of course the rest of the show we hear, Corey Graves updating on how he was trying to console Mandy. It's okay, if it happened 4 or 5 3 or 4 years ago at this point, shouldn't Mandy be over it by now? I mean, yes, I get Mandy's finally had this chance, but has Mandy been that depressed for 4 years that like she can't? It makes no sense to me. It does not make any sense, and to me, it took me out of this. Like no, now I want to see Naomi get her comeuppance on someone who she basically ruined a relationship. Like I don't know. It's feeling like what happened with Dolph Ziggler and Rusev back in 2015 as well. Like that just went so weird. And Rusev came across as the face, and Ziggler was the heel. It felt like. So, but once again, I can say, hey, Mandy, if you need a shoulder cry on, I'm single. I got no prospects. Come on. Just kidding. Once again, I'm pretty sure now in real life she's dating Tino Sabatelli. Last I knew she was dating Tino Sabatelli, so I got no shot. And I had no shot at all. But anyways, getting away from that part. But yes, that's another thing I hate about the show is this segment. Because one, it makes no sense that on one show there's qualifying matches. On another show, there isn't. And then all of a sudden, Mandy Rose apparently is going after Naomi because she ruined her relationship because she's not tough enough. That is just completely off the mark. Again, sometimes I know, taking something like even like in 2011 when Punk and Orton were feuding because a couple years earlier, Orton took out Punk, which when the feud happened, Orton was the face, Punk was the heel, but back when that incident happened, the roles were reversed. So that somewhat worked. But this time we have, the roles were kind of reversing again in some ways, and to me, it did not work. So I've lost interest in this feud now. Thanks, WWE, for ruining a feud that I actually was somewhat interested in for sure. Ah, man. So we got that. And then we got this main event segment, whatever you want to call it, which this was actually good. Daniel Bryan before he came out, he was walking past a crew member who was eating a sandwich, and Bryan slaps it out of his hands. And this actually, I really like this segment, and believe it or not, I actually really liked what was introduced in this segment. So Daniel Bryan comes out, which and I'm going to rant on the Titantron because I will give credit. WWE must have heard me in some ways because they made a slight change to Bryan's Titantron. They, instead of having, on the side like the DB logo, like the San Diego Padres logo, because like I said, one of my previews or reviews over the weekend, it said yes is dead. I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Like that actually works because it's true. Yes is dead. Like that actually works. Even though again, to see Daniel Bryan just on a plain blue screen again, still looks lazy to me. So Bryan comes out and he asks the crowd if he knows who won on Sunday, and everyone's chanting Becky, and he says no. He says each and every one of us is who won, and also our children, and our children's children. We all won because he won, and a victory for him is a victory for every sentiment being on Earth, because Daniel Bryan is the planet's champion, which I'm actually enjoying this phrase. He doesn't expect us to understand what he's saying because none of us know what winning actually feels like, but that's okay because he found someone who understands the truth in what he says. And that man came out to help on Sunday, not for him, but for the greater good. Rowan, pretty much, but they still, the announcers called him Eric Rowan, but it was Rowan who came out in that horrible sheep herder soundtrack that he's had when he's a single star, which I don't like. But this time, now his Titantron has Rowan with, instead of just having an O, it has like a recycling symbol around his O spin around. It's like, okay, so it's Eric Rowan apparently likes to recycle now. Who knows? So he comes out and he's carrying something on his back. It's like a bag of some sorts. And he asks what we see when we look at Rowan, saying we see a mindless runt, but he spent his evenings reading Chaucer, and yes, his hands are dirty, but that's because he works with the dirt of the earth. And Rowan is his intellectual peer. But even somebody as ignorant as AJ Styles is right sometimes, that Bryan is a hypocrite because he carries around the title belt. Rowan then grabs a trash can, and Bryan asks if we can see the title, saying it's a symbol of excellence and also of excess. It's gaudy, made from cheap labor, and worst of all, bound to the skin of a cow whose life was taken from her. He then names the cow Daisy. Daisy has the ability to feel immense joy, which she didn't get to feel much of in this life, and also immense pain, which she did feel. Daisy was forced to give her life for this symbol, and this symbol is the very thing that he and Rowan stand against. And he slams the title, well, now known as Daisy, which I actually like that. It got the crowd was chanting Daisy the whole time. Again, this was really entertaining. I love that. But he just chucks Daisy into the garbage, and calls it trash. He says we need a new symbol, and he asks Rowan to pull it out. It's a hemp and wood grain version of the WWE Championship, decorated with bits of turquoise. And then Brian holds it and begins to explain it, what it's made out of it and whatnot, and how it is the new championship belt. Which I mean, yeah, it's ugly, it's weird looking for sure, but I loved it. Again, what I was saying earlier in my video about how WWE did not dig deep in the Dean Ambrose heel character, like they're really digging even. Well, I don't know if it's WWE or who it is, but whoever's writing for Daniel Bryan, stick with it because he is really digging deeper with this with this psychopathic environment. He's not going to stand there and just talk about it. No, he's actually putting it into effect by getting rid of the actual WWE title and pulling out some eco friendly title or something like that is healthy for the environment pretty much. And I love them. Like, yes, like this is when we need to talk about digging deeper. This is what we're doing. And yes, it still feels weird that Eric Rowan is kind of or just Rowan, whatever his name is now, is somewhat involved with this, but it's like, you know what, this still kind of works. I mean, I'm not sure if Rowan being by his side is going to be the best thing for him, but it's starting up some type of society and it's different, and I'm actually digging it. So I'm interested to see where this goes. But then out comes AJ Styles. He says he wasn't going to stand by while Brian threw the title in the trash and asks if he smoked the prototype, which Brian says he did not. And of course, everybody's chanting, yes, 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 yes. And Brian's like, no, no. And AJ says, for someone who doesn't like big corporations, he sure went and found a big insurance policy, referring to Rowan. But then this was weird. Randy Orton comes out, then we cut the break. We come back from break. There's Jeff Hardy and Mustafa Ali, who's in the middle of a sentence during a commercial break. I was like, oh, come on. I wanted to hear what Orton and Hardy had to say. Like, why did we cut this out like that? Ali, though, says he sees a bunch of Hall of Famers arguing where the line starts. And he goes to point out that he has a pin over Daniel Bryan. When Orton says, yeah, but you got eliminated by a girl, which was still embarrassing for Ali for sure. And then, though, out comes Samoa Joe, which I'm sorry, that face he made towards Ali, I probably mentioned it in my Rumble review on Sunday because I was tired, but when that face he made towards Ali at the Rumble on Sunday, like, whatnot, like it was epic, and I'm like, okay, awesome. Let's go with this. Joe, though, comes out and says he ain't coming for permission. He's down here to put a champion to sleep. He's going to defang the Viper. He already put Jeff Hardy out, and he also tells him to treat this like an AA meeting and shut his mouth while he's sharing with the group, which was, bang, again, this shooting at Jeff Hardy's alcohol issues from the past. He says Ali is a boy among men, and he got lucky at the Rumble eliminating him. But he's got a reality check, and his eyes don't lie either, because they were closed real tight when he put him to sleep last week. And then he gets to AJ's face and says, oh, and AJ, how's his girl Wendy doing? And then he just starts and AJ and Joe start brawling, and then the fight breaks out with everyone. We see RKOs, twist of fates. Then Brian gets out of the ring, stands on the, and so does Rowan, standing on the announce table. And he says none of them are getting title shots, as he will be the planet's champion forever. So everybody's still brawling, but then Triple H appears on a screen and says he wants to confirm for him and the world that he's not wrestling any one of those superstars. He's going to be wrestling all of them inside the Elimination Chamber, where Bryan starts freaking out, and then the brawl is just resuming. We see Ali hammering Orton in the corner. Joe's dumping Styles to the crowd. Bryan's trying to run off, but he ran back on, and then Orton throws Ali into the barricade, and they're still fighting on the stage. And it looked like Rowan was about to start attacking Orton, but then it cut. So I was like, oh man, that was like a nice brawl. I wanted to see, who came up on top at the end, especially with Rowan getting involved. Like, what was going to happen there? But that was the end of the show. But yeah, a long but fun ending segment again with Daniel Bryan changing the climate. Again, I really dig this new title. Again, I know it's a weird design, but again, it's them like trying to, dig deeper and be more creative with this storyline here with Daniel Bryan being this psychopathic environmentalist. Again, I love it. So what I think is going to happen is, as of now, it's just Bryan and Rowan. I think somehow Bryan is going to retain at Chamber. I see him retaining. And honestly, when Bray Wyatt returns and he faces Daniel Bryan and dethrones him at WrestleMania 35. Just saying, like it could work. And they had a great match at Rumble in 2014. I think, it could be a great way to, bring back Bray Wyatt, especially since, he'd be like, even if Luke Harper, comes back and joins Rowan or something like that. I don't know. And Rowan and Bryan, making this some type of Planet Society or something like some type of stable that it's different because of what it represents. Again, I'm loving it. What if Bray Wyatt comes back and he returns Chamber or something like that, and then attacks Bryan after Bryan wins the match. And then he sees what Rowan and if Harper joins in what they're doing, and then Wyatt's like, this is not what I released for you guys to do, and I'm gonna be the one to put an end to all of this and raise Daisy from the trash. I don't know, something, but so yeah, I'm actually very interested to see where this goes with this new title and whatnot while Bryan's champion, and again maybe it could lead to some big fight Bray Wyatt, or other than that, I don't know who else was gonna face Bryan at Mania. We'll have to wait and see, of course. But that was SmackDown Live. I'm going to change my grade a little bit. I was just going to give it a C-. I'll give it a C again. There was still some stuff the tag match was decent. Stuff with Almas and Ray was okay. The stuff I basically just did not enjoy about the show was the stuff with the U.S. title, and then the stuff with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville I didn't really enjoy. So I don't know, again, it kind of brought me down a little bit, but I gotta give this a C. I'll give this a C for this episode of SmackDown Live, in my opinion. We see here for on the polls though, we got 10 votes 50% saying A, 20% say B, 30% say C, and nobody says anything lower than a D. For which show was more better, Raw or SmackDown Live? Raw got 20%, SmackDown got 80%. Again, I'll give SmackDown a C. I still enjoyed Raw a little bit more than SmackDown, but there was still, again, that opening and closing segments were excellent, but it was just a weird show, and it felt like a show that Road Dogg definitely touched. So I'll up my grade, in the description box down below. I will give it a C, be a little more generous. Live chat, check that again and see what we got. If she needs a shoulder cry on, get in line. It starts behind me. All right, Mark. Wait, you want to have a match at WrestleMania for the right to the winner lends a shoulder to Mandy Rose. Just kidding, my friend. So does this mean no more Bludgeon Brothers? I guess, who knows? You gave it a C also. Good night, see you for your NXT review. Thank you for joining, Mark. And with that, guys, I think I want to check out here now, guys. It's been a crazy week for WWE for sure, and the stuff with Ambrose for sure, and who knows who's next is going to announce they're going to be leaving. But again, we'll see what happens with Ambrose. Again, this could be a work, who knows? But yeah, let's make this match official, Mark, if you're still in the live chat. WrestleMania 35, you and me, the winner lends a shoulder to Mandy Rose for her to cry on, if you want to do that. But we'll see, of course, what happens. But yeah, take care, Mark. So, guys, thank you once again to Mark and the Elite Squad and anybody else joining me in the live chat tonight. Again, see for SmackDown this week. What grade do SmackDown Live? Leave us down in the comment section below. And be sure, as always, to click my like and subscribe or chronic on my channel. You may follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirbrine3. With guys, I am checking out. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my NXT UK, and again, maybe NXT review, depending on if I feel NXT is worthwhile reviewing, since it's going to be like a Fallout show. Basically, it's like a recap show. So if the matches are worth talking about, then maybe I'll do a review. If not, I may skip NXT review tomorrow, but I'm still going to watch it. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow night, for those reviews. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your night, and peace out, everybody.